Thinking about buying a home, but torn between choosing a brand new home or a charming older home? There are unique challenges to both, and don't worry, we'll cover all of them in this video. Welcome back to Living in Spokane, Washington. If you're new here, my name's Hunter Mackay, and I'm your local real estate broker. If you have any questions about moving to Spokane or just the moving process in general, I would love to make sure that this is a smooth transition for everyone. Please reach out to me or my staff and we'll make sure that you're well taken care of. Now let's get into today's video. Alright, so let's get into new builds. Everyone thinks, I want to build my custom dream home, it's going to be so shiny and new. Don't do that. If you think you have enough money to buy a house and you're thinking, well, I'll just go buy land and build a house, it will be cheaper, it will not. Custom home builds are gargantuanly expensive. New home construction from the ground up is hard. Now you might be thinking, Hunter, that sounds really dramatic. It is dramatic. It's expensive to build a custom home. You got to buy the dirt, then you got to figure out the utilities, then maybe you have a well or a septic if you're out on land, then you have to hire an architect to build and draft everything, and then you have to hire a contractor to actually achieve the draftsman's plans. There are so many steps, and I promise you, you are not thinking about all of the costs. So if this is your dream to build your own perfect home from scratch, I'm happy to help you, but just know it is a very long process, and it's not cheaper than buying a home that's already built, and it's not cheaper than buying a house that's in a tract home with a new development like Lennar, D.R. Horton, Greenstone, Hayden, or any of the other many wonderful builders that build communities. And you can go in and you can buy one of their model homes and go, I want that one. And I promise you, that experience could be wonderful. Since obviously we can all tell I'm super thrilled about the idea of custom home construction, today we're going to focus on just buying a new home from a builder who already owns their community. This is where a builder will go in and they buy a tract of land and they intend to build 5, 10, 50, 100 or more homes. And the real intention here is that they've already covered all of the really hard work for you. The utilities are already in. The lots are flat and ready to go, or they're prepped and ready to go if you're in a hillside. The point is, you don't have to do anything other than come in and say, I like this floor plan, I like these finishes, can you please tell me how much it costs? And then you can guarantee that they're going to meet those margins and timeframes because the builder has already proposed the plan and they've proposed that plan to possibly hundreds of other individuals. And so you can know that they're ready to do the work because regardless of if you buy that house, someone else is going to buy the home that way with minor finishing changes depending on what's available in each individual neighborhood. Building a new home can be a lot of fun. You get to see every stage of the construction, and you get to spend time visiting the site and meeting some of the individuals that are working on your home. No, they don't like you to visit every day, but if you want to check in on it every couple of weeks, there's a site agent who is happy to take you through. They have an amazing office in the model home. It's built with nice furniture. They usually have coffee and cookies for you to keep you distracted in the high heat of July. But the point is it's a fun process, and you get taken care of while you get to make finishing choices on your house. It can be stressful because it takes a lot longer. When you buy a resale home, probably only takes 30 or 45 days. When you buy a new build, it could take up to 9 to 12 months, but you get updates along the way and you get to see your home, and more than anything, you're the first person to ever use that brand new toilet in the master bathroom. Wouldn't that be nice? Some of the other benefits of building something new with a construction team like Lennar, D.R. Horton, Greenstone, Hayden, those are the locals in our area that I'm most familiar with. They have proven process. They have trusted subcontractors. They have people that have worked with them in this area for decades. And so you don't have to worry about choosing the wrong contractor. You can go and see thousands of homes throughout the city that have been built by these construction companies and see how well do they do. You can ask neighborhoods and see how well have they handled their warranties? Do the warranty teams actually come back and take care of things? It's amazing how much information is available when you're working with these regional builders that have a long history and good reputation of cranking out really quality products. The downside on some of them is that they may have already picked some of the finishes, and so you might not get to just choose any tile you want. You have to choose between their preset selections. For those of you that have a hard time making choices, like my husband, this can be brilliant because if you only have 3 tiles to choose from, you just pick the one that you like best. You don't get lost at Home Depot. I think my favorite thing about new home construction, though, is two pieces. The first one, if you get in at the beginning of a phase, you can know with pretty much certain regularity that every time they release a new set of homes, phase 2 is going to be more expensive than phase 1. Phase 3 is going to be more expensive than phase 2. And what's crazy is that it's the exact same model with the exact same finishes. And so if you get a Livingston from Lennar in phase 1, you might get it for $360,000 or $370,000. The Livingston in phase 2 and phase 3 is certainly going to go up. Maybe not a lot, but you'll get incremental raises, usually in 1% to 3% per phase. And that can be a real big benefit, because when the whole construction team leaves and you're left being phase 1 of a 7-phase environment, then you have the earliest Livingston, and it could still be worth $20,000 to $30,000 more at the time of the completion of the development, simply because everyone else really wants one and there's not one available for another 9 to 12 months. So the benefit of having it available now can equate to more money. Additionally, you're not going to have any maintenance because everything is brand new and covered under warranty. Many of the longer term pieces, like the windows and the roof, might even have a manufacturer's warranty. But the first year with the builder, you have a totally covered warranty with them. And so not having to do any of that maintenance can really help you pad your savings account if you redirect all of the funds that you might be spending on an older home towards your savings. I know I said it was my last two things and my favorite, but I just remembered my actual favorite thing. Almost all of the new home builders, because they're more interested in getting homes sold regularly in order to keep their schedule, they usually have a lending partner that's capable and willing to make this process really easy. If you use their in-house lending team, they're going to give you credits and benefits. If you use an outside lending team, they might make it more challenging. Like, if you close late, they're probably going to charge you extra. But if you work with their in-house lending team and that in-house lending team needs more time, they're probably not going to charge you. Additionally, they'll give you a better interest rate and more credits, or maybe pay for some additional things to be added to the home as a benefit to you if you buy during certain seasons where they need to clear inventory. So that can be a lot of fun too, and get you a better deal. Now that we've covered new homes and why you might want to buy them, let's flip over and discuss old homes. I'm obviously in my favorite old home right now. It's my home that was built in 1903, and she's a beauty. She's provided me a lot of struggles over the years because she needed maintenance. Yes, I did buy a beautiful home in a gorgeous neighborhood that would have cost tremendously more money if I had built it new. I paid $375,000 for my home and promptly proceeded to spend another $300,000 renovating it because she needed everything. New pipes, new electrical, new sheetrock, new insulation. One of the buildings got a new roof. We had to do a bunch of new windows. We had to renovate every square inch of the 4,500 square feet of the home. And so it was a big expense. Now, the home that I bought for $375,000, renovated for $300,000, is hopefully worth $900,000 to $1.2 million. I say hopefully because I won't know until I sell it, and I need to live somewhere, so I'm obviously not selling it right now. But I've built equity if I've done everything right and I sell at the right time. And so that's one of my big benefits for buying an older home. If I had tried to build this home new, it would have cost $2 million. I would not have been able to afford it. No one would want to build it because the cost of new construction in a lot this close to town is really, really challenging. And so I got to buy a home that was inside my price point, go crazy and wildly into debt renovating it into my dream home, and now hopefully I can hold on to it. I just wouldn't have even been able to achieve the dream if I had tried to build it new. It wouldn't have happened. Now, let's resize this for something a little bit more accessible for the first-time home buyer. There's a Lennar new build that's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom at 1,150 square feet or something like that, and they're selling it for $350,000. I have an older home that's a resale. It was built in 2002. It's almost 1,100 square feet. It's on a bigger lot. It's in a closer-in neighborhood. It's closer to town, and it is the same 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but a little bit bigger square footage. It's likely going to sell for $300,000 not $350, and it's still in fantastic shape because it's fairly new. And so the benefits of buying a resale versus a brand new home is that if you can buy one at the right age that doesn't need a lot of maintenance and doesn't need a full gut and renovation like my home, then you can be miles ahead, because this person who's going to buy this $300,000 home built in 2002, they don't have a ton of renovations to do. They might have to plan for a new roof. They might have to plan for a new hot water tank. But overall, they're still going to save $50,000 and get a home that's almost identical in terms of condition and size. And they're going to get a bigger yard in a better neighborhood than if they went with the new construction. So to a certain degree, you have to weigh the pros and cons of both. Let's dig in a little bit more when I say location and community, far away versus close to town. One of the things that is potentially a negative for some people like me, I really like living close to downtown. There's no raw land close to downtown anymore. And so all of the new home communities are usually built 30 to 45 minutes outside of downtown. They're still built in areas that have room for shopping and malls and community centers and other services that we're going to need in those areas, but they're being built today. They're not already there. And so usually when you go into a new home community, you're farther away from the services, and it takes a few years for all of those services to get built in. That can lead to more drive time, and it can put you farther away from work, but you get a nicer home because of it. Or you trade and you get an older home that might need more work, but you're in a more established neighborhood. There's more trees around, there's more developed landscaping, and you're probably closer to a lot of the major services that you've gotten used to. So you just have to choose what's important to you. One of the other big topics to consider is appreciation and resale value. When you're looking at a brand new home, if you're planning on keeping it for only 2 to 3 years, it actually could hurt you, because you will be competing against existing new inventory right at the same time. That can work in your favor if you're available and there's no new inventory. But if that builder is building lots of new homes and they have standing inventory, then you're competing with their standing inventory. And would you pay the same amount of money for a new home if it was ready right then? Or would you be willing to pay more for the older one? Probably not. And so the older one is going to take a hit if they're standing inventory. If the build is complete, you've probably got good appreciation. You've probably got the individual bumps for the individual phases. And so that could work really well. But you just don't want to be caught selling your 2-year-old home when the standing inventory office is still releasing brand new versions of your house, because then you'll lose. The older homes tend to be more unique. They have more qualities about them that could be different and thus stand out against other competition. More than that, you have the benefit of renovating an older home and getting equity because you've improved the price of the home. You probably can't do that with a new construction because you're likely already at top of value when you buy it, and so you just have to pay down the mortgage or do something to make yourself massively different. A good example of this is D.R. Horton communities. They only put stone on the first level. The upstairs and bathrooms get laminate. And so you could update all of the laminate and update all the carpet hardwoods, and then you might be different enough. The problem is that some of those updates can be very expensive, and so they may not be beneficial enough to outpace standard appreciation for the area and just the benefit of saving rather than re-renovating your brand new home. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I want to know, what do you prefer? Do you prefer an older home or a newer home? Tell us why.